So the NFL draft is over, and we've signed all our undrafted free agents that I think we're going to sign right now. And outside of a veteran signing here or there, we kind of know what the Tennessee Titans are going to look like this upcoming season. So let's focus on this draft class specifically, and why I think the national media and some local are, for lack of better terms, in their feelings. After the intro. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bonafide, and this is Section 240, a channel all about the Tennessee Titans, but from a fan's perspective, all right? So we made a video, and you can check it out. I'll probably put the card up here, about our first round draft pick, J.C. Latham. So go check that video out if you want my thoughts on the pick. This video, we're gonna kind of focus on the remaining 6 picks that Rand and Brian selected in the 2024 NFL draft, all right? So let's get right into it. Tvondre Sweat. Okay, so with the 38th pick, we picked up Tvondre Sweat, defensive tackle out of Texas. Now, I'd probably say out of all the picks that we picked, this seems to be the most controversial, most polarizing. And what's really crazy though, it's kind of funny now. Sweat has all the accolades that you want in an interior lineman. He is a former Outland Trophy winner. He won the Outland Trophy last season. He's a first team All-American, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, and he got the tape and the stats to back it up. This dude is a monster right here, a monster. Like this past season, he had 45 tackles, 2 sacks, and 8 tackles for a loss. So it's basically the best defensive tackle, at least in my opinion. He fits our scheme. And what you're looking for, like a big run stuffing, clogging up the middle, ain't nothing getting around that way. Got a defensive tackle. But all you're going to hear, or all you heard when we picked him, was about this DUI that happened about 3 weeks ago prior to the draft. And I think it was like 2 days before he was coming on in an in-person visit with the Tennessee Titans. Now, I want to make something plainly clear. This was an incredibly stupid move by Tvondre. Something foolish. Could have cost him his life. Probably cost him a couple of dollars in draft positions because people then, took him off their board or dropped him down, things like that. Incredibly stupid. I'm not excusing what he did. But what's crazy is that people will allow one thing to kind of sway them from making a smart choice. And I feel like for the Tennessee Titans and the needs that we had, picking Tvondre was a smart choice. Now, don't get me wrong. I know we all have PTSD. And what you're saying, what is PTSD, McLean? Is that something with the military? No, I know you as a Titan fan have panda traumatic stress disorder. And I know you might be compensated for it later. You might need to go see a medical professional for it. But I'm not gonna let that idiot and what he did shape my opinion or thoughts on everybody that comes after him that may have a hiccup in the road. And in this particular case, Tvondre. And I would say you'd be wise to not let that happen either. Now, this is my thing. I'm okay with people questioning the pick because he might have some issues with his conditioning. Now, side note, before I filmed this, I saw a video of Tvondre, and if that man is overweight, then I have no shot at being in shape. But that's neither here nor there. But I wouldn't have had problems with people saying, hey, we're concerned about Tvondre's conditioning. We're concerned about will he be able to be a 3-down player, things like that. Those criticisms of the pick are good. And, depending on who you are, they might be overblown. But given that, I think I was watching a video from Pro Football Focus, I think it was PFF or something like that. They were saying that his snap counts equaled up to or were higher than Jalen Carter's of the Eagles. Yeah, that same Jalen Carter, defensive lineman from Georgia that was involved in an incident that cost 2 people their lives. Yeah, who was still drafted in the first round. So I'm saying, people make mistakes and people get in situations. You know, I trust, like they said, and I think even Brian Callahan said today on one of the radio shows, I think they went 104.5, I think he was a guest, and he talked about how Rand and the team, they went down there, they vetted him, they talked to him. Even when they brought him in and he was talking, like this was like 2 days after, he was trying to clear his name, he was trying to do this. So, you know, I'm going to trust that they did their due diligence, and that because they did it, you know, obviously this has to go all the way up to Miss Amy too. So Miss Amy was fine with it. Burt and Kenneth and all those people were fine with it. Rand was fine with it. Brian was fine with it. So it seems like they've done their due diligence. So let's focus on how he can help the team and not so much on the outside thing. Let's hope that he is going to produce and do exactly what we need him to do here in Tennessee, and that is be a dynamic duo with Jeffrey Simmons. Shoot, even Jeffrey approved, because Rand said that Jeff was the first call he got after the pick with of Tvondre, and all he said was, "Man, I appreciate you." So that speaks speaks volumes. All right. So the next pick that we had was Cedric Gray, and he's a linebacker out of North Carolina. Now, we lost Al Shire to draft. It was crazy. I think he went to the Texans. I can't remember right off the top of it, but I think he did go to the Texans. So this pick was really a pick that we needed to do because we needed to fill that linebacker core because it's been weak, to say the least. I can't recall how many times last year we were watching games and we were like, man, these linebackers outside of number 2 are piss poor. Now, everybody's saying it's a really good move because they're saying Gray can come in, and if he can get up to speed, he can get the green dot. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the green dot is the helmet where the defensive plays come in. So basically, be in charge of the defense. Now, from the clips and the footage I've seen him, he looks like he's a sure tackler. You know, he had some missed tackles probably with that, but I think he can be cleaned up with technique. He was a captain at USC, so UNC. So I'm thinking he's got the leadership traits, and he showed out at the Senior Bowl, which holds a lot of weight with the staff. A recurring thing you're going to hear with all these picks is that there were participants at the Senior Bowl, all right? So that holds a lot of weight with the staff, especially with Rand and coming from, you know, that kind of late round, you know, finding those diamonds in the rough. Now, Stacking the Inbox, who... again, if you're not subscribed to Stacking the Inbox, I don't know what you're doing. But Stacking the Inbox, I use their draft book as a guide. And they had him at a 72.2 overall score. So, you know, it's decent. He'll need to clean up some of like that play recognition things where, you know, you get himself out of position or they'll miss the tackles. But like I said, if he can come in and become that green dot linebacker immediately and be a force, you know, like a day one starter, you know, maybe that is going to really turn into a great find for us. Especially when this linebacker pool was considered really shallow on like Premier Praise. Now, if you're enjoying this content, you're enjoying us going on there, hey man, go ahead and smash that like button, man, and even consider subscribing to the section, all right? So, the next pick was Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Now, I think we were pretty much set at cornerback because we got Sneed, we got Awuzie, and then, you know, we got Roger McCreary back there. But we picked up Brownlee out of Louisville. And look, you know, man, I ain't one to try to abuse a term, but that boy got that dog in him, all right? You hear me? He can tackle. He is consistent, like he wants to hit people. And the thing about it is if a quarterback makes a mistake and tosses the ball errantly, he gonna make you play. He's got hands. He could probably be a wide receiver, but he's a cornerback. You know, he had some incredible plays. I think one of the highlight films I saw of him, he was actually, this is when he was at Florida State before he came to Louisville. He had a tip pass, the interception, where he caught the interception with his calf muscles. Like, you know, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Again, they saw him at the Senior Bowl, and he had a nice little pick at the Senior Bowl, and he had a nice little return too. So he got a little vision. Now, from all the reports that I've seen, all the tweets and the, you know, kind of updates coming from him, they see him as a nickel, but in any case, as a nickel cornerback. But in any case, I like this pickup to kind of make that secondary even more solid behind Snead and Awuzie and McCreary. So Brownlee is probably, and we don't know, because Molden may be a safety or maybe in that fight, but he's probably competing against, you know, like there's Trey Avery's and the other corner, you know, Eric Garrers or whoever that we bring into camp. So he'll probably be that CB4 behind McCreary's CB3. So definitely like that pickup. This next one is Jha'Quan Jackson out of Tulane. So why would we say? Now, when somebody recommends something good to you, like a good restaurant or a good thing or a movie you should check out, and you know they know what they're talking about, you usually try to take it. So Tyjae Spears was beating on the wall for Jackson because he was his roommate and at Tulane. Shoot, Tyjae was at the draft party when Rand called to tell him that the Titans were going to pick Jha'Quan up. So when you get a chance, go back and go to the Titans YouTube channel and look at that. Look at that call. John was hilarious. Now Jackson is a need, but not at wide receiver. Where I think he's going to come into play is that, you know, he's going to push Phillips and Burks. And yes, I don't care what Brian Callahan said on the radio today about Burks stacking good days. It's a shame that I'm not even gonna go on that tangent, but whatever. He's probably here to push Phillips and NWI and Burks, and he's probably gonna be the guy at punt returner and kick returner because that's where he's gonna make his biggest impact, especially given the new return rules. And we probably need to make a video of that before the season starts so we understand it, probably before preseason starts, so we understand what's going on. But he can really be seen, if he can get it down pat and learn and make sure he's got sure hands, things like that, you know, he can be seen as a weapon at the thing. Because like I said, you know, he was at the Senior Bowl too. I'm telling you, everybody we picked, this is a fun fact, everybody that we picked participated at the Senior Bowl. We only drafted people that either came from well, I don't think Brian Callahan said that they like to see people or pick players from championship teams, but all of these dudes that we picked came from a Senior Bowl. So hey, you want to get drafted by the Tennessee Titans? If you're watching this, go to the Senior Bowl. All right, get an invite to the Senior Bowl. Now, our next pick, and we're coming to the end, is James Williams. Now, remember that linebacking core that I was telling you about earlier when we was talking about Cedric Gray and how he, you know, was kind of weak? Well, Rand kind of spent a couple of these next two picks trying to get this fixed. That he went about it like a little different way because James Williams played safety at the University of Miami. And yeah, he was a safety, and he is not afraid to use the hit stick, if you know what I mean. All right, the man is passing out CTE like they watchtower bulletins. And he is huge. He's like 6'5", 231, and he can run a 4.46 40. The man is like crazy. So he's got some size on him. He can move. And I think moving him to linebacker, which is what Rand and them basically said they were going to do with Jain, and he's up to the challenge, might be the move for him. You know, Frank Bush is our linebacker coach, so he's really going to have to get him up to speed, things like that. I don't think we're going to see him in the first part of it unless he just jumps off of the screen and he can't, you know, he forces his way on the field. But the name that I keep hearing when I bring up James Williams' name, when I look at his highlights, the thing that keeps popping up, Cam Chancellor. Yeah, man. From the Legion of Boom. Maybe, do we have? No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm getting ahead of myself, all right? Getting ahead of myself. But yeah, Cam Chancellor keeps coming up when I think about James Williams. And then like the last pick was 252, so 3 away from Mr. Irrelevant. And this another backer that's going to be working with Frank Bush. Now, I don't know too much about Herold, like I said, outside of the stacking inbox guy. I know, you know, he won a championship with Michigan. He had 6.5 sacks last year. Now, stacking inbox, the analysis said that he really didn't shine at the Senior Bowl, but the tape was good enough from the season to say, hey, you know, maybe we can just use this pick number 252 on him. And he kind of reminds me of Caleb Murphy. You remember Caleb Murphy last year, you know, D2 all-time leading sack getter. So maybe he works out, maybe he doesn't. It's a project, you know. He'll need a really good camp, a really good preseason. I think to make the roster, he may end up on the practice squad, but to make the roster, even to probably get some playing time. So yeah, I think that. So yeah, and that's all I picked. So yeah, closing this video out, I think this is Rand's first draft as GM, because we know how it went last year. This is his first draft with him really calling the shots, things like that. So I'm interested to see how these players pan out. You know, it's always interesting. I really think, you know, you got Latham, you got Sweat, you got Gray. Seem like they may be day one starters. Jackson may be a starter, kick returner and punt returner. So they can make impacts really here really soon. Whereas Williams and Herold kind of maybe projects, especially picking up new positions or doing a little bit more with Frank. So, you know, you may see them come on a little bit later at the thing. Now, I give us a solid B+ for the draft. You know, I love the Latham pick. I think he's going to be his name is going to be in the rafters in Titans if everything pans out the way I think it should pan out for him. I like the Sweat pick, even though, you know, it's risk with Sweat because of his conditioning. Is risk with Sweat because of his conditioning, not because of all that other stuff, you know. But, you know, if early signs are saying he might be on his way to, you know, doing what he needs to do to be on that. And I think that Brownlee pick, that Brownlee pick is the sleeper pick for me. That's like, that man might be an X factor. You never know. Sometimes some players just got it. And I feel, watching that tape of Brownlee, that man got it, all right? So I think what's coming up next is, you know, you got rookie mini camp, we got OTAs, et cetera, all this stuff. So we're gonna be dropping a whole bunch more videos over the next couple of weeks, you know, kind of filling the time. I know we got playoffs, NBA playoffs, and we got the Olympics coming up. But, you know, hey, we want to make sure that we, you know, dropping content so you can stay connected. So anything that comes up, if we sign anybody new from the set of veteran, you know, I think we need a veteran safety or maybe two to come here. And then we may do some more other fun videos like we did last year coming up. So you want to make sure that you locked in. One of the new things, we got to get a new intro because some of them players ain't here no more. R.I.P. Byer, Henry, Vrabel. So you make sure that you stay locked in with us. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out. And don't forget about the 1K giveaway. All you got to do is be a subscriber to be entered in. And as I always say, remember, there is plenty room in the section for us all. So until next time, tighten up.